folks, welcome back to the program. It's Chris live in Central Pennsylvania. Apologies for the confusion. They canceled. Let me change the background since John's got a background. It looks a little different there. Let me just change my background because that's going to bother me if I keep sitting there with a background that's so loud and attention-seeking. How's that? Better? Purple? Or should we go with blue? John, I'm going to give you a pick. What do you think? Blue looks better, I think. Yeah, we'll go with blue. How's that? All right. Yeah, so apologies for the confusion, but apparently people panicked over snow. There's no snow on the roads. It was supposed to snow last night. It didn't snow. Then it was supposed to at 8 o'clock. Then it was supposed to snow this morning at 5 o'clock. Didn't snow. I got up around 6. There was no snow. And then without my knowledge, the officers of the Post ran a whole line of text messages and apparently decided that the coming snowstorm was too serious. We have to cancel the bingo, which we've been planning for a month. And I got up and rushed from the last stream after the USA won the hockey gold medal. Yay, Team USA. And I rushed over after my stream to get over there, only to find the building closed, locked up, tighter than a drum, nobody there. And I'm like, what's going on? I came back and called everybody. In the meantime, we had to deal with the whole issue with the Stoltz family and how News 24, Media 24 used clickbait title and their photograph to mislead people about something that's happening who were unwilling to pay behind the paywall. Having said all that, John is my guest today. John is one of the folks who got stuck in Frankfurt, if I remember correctly. I think, isn't that true, John?
No, it's not.
Oh, wait. Okay, I'm mixing you with someone else. Sorry. Okay, you weren't stuck in Frankfurt. Oh, it's just too many refugees now. I can't keep track of things. But John's got an interesting. John Edmund. Now, Edmund, the way it's spelled in his name, is the way that my ancestors spelled Edmund, because a lot of people spell with an O, not with the U. So especially Anglophones. So it's interesting because he has John, which is Anglophone, Edmund, which is Germanic, and Van der Westhuizen. So I'm so confused, John. Who are you?
No, you can call me just John. The Van der Westhuizen, I don't really know where that surname came from, but when I looked into the genealogy and tracked where they came from, it's more of a Belgian sort of surname. Yeah, and it's a family name that's been held up for like 3 family generations.
Well, I guess we'll have to just find out Westhuizen, wherever that's at, because it means from the Westhuizen, wherever that's at, the West House, I guess, anyway, rather than the White House. But John, you're a refugee that came over here. Unlike some of these other refugees, you're not a family person. You don't have a family. You don't have children. I hope you don't have children. You look like you're almost a child yourself. So, well, they get started young there in the Highveld.
Luckily, I don't have children.
So, John, can you tell us how old are you and whereabouts you're from in South Africa?
I'm 20 years old. I came from Zeerust, there in close to Botswana, the northwestern province. It's a small town, really. So I came from heat, really hot heat, to this coldness.
Yeah, well, you're in Colorado. It's a little bit different coming. It's summertime in the southern hemisphere, and it's wintertime here in the northern because of the tilt of the earth. We're now away from the sun a little bit. Well, I know Zeerust very, very well. I've only been there about 7,000 times. No, I'm embellishing. I've probably been there about 600 or 700 times, and I go there frequently because I used to live in Botswana. And, of course, you come down from Kopfontein, and from the Tlokwang border crossing, it takes you right into Zeerust, coming down the pass from the mountain, coming down that sharp turn right there at the bottom where the military base is located, and you drive down. I've been there many times, past the police station, stopped at the petrol stations there. And actually, the party that's there, the Forum for Democrats, a Tswana-based party, is the one that got cheated out of a seat in the 2021 elections. I helped them get their seat by exposing the fraud in the Independent Electoral Commission. So, anyway, Zeerust, interesting. Did you live in town or were you on a farm? What's the deal?
I did live in town. I lived like in the center of Zeerust. I moved around South Africa a lot of times, but originally I was born there, raised there. Yeah, I was where I lived just before I came was a place for old people. I lived with my grandmother, and yeah, the old people drove me mad. So I decided to pack up my things and leave.
The old people drove you mad. Okay, we've got to explore that a little bit. What are you talking about? The old people drove you mad?
Yeah, there's a lot of neighbors that were really nosy, and they can't keep their nose out of your business. If you get out of your house, they want to know where you're going, what you're going to do, and stuff like that, and it's really irritating. And then there's people that are just plain mislik. I don't know what's mislik in English. I forgot the word now. But yeah, they're playing mislik with us. So they really drove me mad.
Sounds like your connection's clipping there. Hopefully it improves. Are you on Wi-Fi or the mobile network?
I'm on Ethernet.
Okay, you should be fine then. You're not playing the broadcast, are you, in the background?
No, I'm not.
Okay, it's just a bad connection there. Yeah, miserable. That's mislik. That's miserable. People are translating that for you. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. There's a restaurant there. Gosh, it's really getting worse now as we speak. Come on, State Security Agency, stop interrupting our broadcast. So yeah, though there's a cafe there that the last time I was there, I was sitting there in Zeerost, and I stayed overnight. Somebody put me up for accommodation not too far from it. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, it's a nice little cafe with an outdoor place, and the lady that owns it's nice. But I was sitting there at dinner time. These people were staring at me, and they're pointing, and then I finally said hello to them, and they realized that they actually knew who I was. And then another family came while I was sitting with them, and they joined me as well. So people in Zeerost actually knew who I was. I didn't know that. All the times I've been to Zeerost, I didn't know anybody except the petrol attendants. That's the only people I knew in Zeerost. But Zeerost, yeah, Grumpy's a better translation of it, I think, in 90 Baby's doll. I think that's probably better. Grumpy's better than miserable, yeah. So, yeah, so John, you came over here as a 20-year-old. Why? I mean, you look young and fit and healthy. I mean, weren't you ready to conquer the world in South Africa? What brought you to America as a refugee?
I had a lot of stuff that happened to me. My persecution was really one of the bad ones, and I didn't feel safe in my home country.
Okay, the inquiring minds want to know. You don't have to tell us the details of what happened, but I mean, was it ongoing? Was it long term? Did it start in school? What was happening?
It started when I was 16. I was house sitting for one of my teachers, and they broke in at the house and they tied me up. And then they threatened me. They threw me with drawers. And after that, I was robbed multiple times on the street, targeted attacks. And yeah, so it was an ongoing situation. So I was in constant fear.
Well, that's understandable. Look, it's unfortunate. Zeerost, I got to be honest with you, not my favorite spot. I like Rustenburg better, but it's rapidly sliding down the places of likeness because it's getting worse there. But at least has a nice geographic layout. For me, the nicest part of Zeerost, and I'll be honest, is when I come over the pass, I look down over the valley, and then the beauty kind of disappears.
Yeah, after you get into the town, all the beauty disappears. The beauty is from a distance.
Yeah, and in fact, last time I was there, not only did I go to that restaurant and see people that knew me and also stayed overnight there, I also went and watched primary school kids playing rugby on the pitch there on the way to the police station, that ball field.
Yeah, that is our primary school. It's a local primary school we have there. It's actually, I don't think it's the only one. We do have another one in Ikagaling and stuff like that, but that is the primary school for Zeerost, the primary school.
Yeah, the main primary school, I guess. Yeah, primary. That's perfectly fine, but it sounds silly saying it that way. One of the people in the chat, Vainant Klehan, says he was at the interview the same day as you. I guess one of the days you went for an interview. So John, when did you find out about the program, and how did you find out about it?
I started watching the news, US news, I think in like November, around about November. It was my birthday time, and then it was election, so I really watched the news. I wanted to see who's winning this election. Is it going to be Kamala or Trump? And your feed came up on my YouTube channel, on my YouTube page, and I started watching your videos. And then I saw you on the 7th of February last year, and then you said they're going to do emails and stuff like that. Then I sent the email, and then I sent another statement of interest on the 12th of May.
Well, let me just deal with something very quickly. We've got people trolling here, and including someone in Wales. Okay, folks, I'm not going into all the details of what happened here. Stop being assholes. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? Yeah, I did say that. Stop being jerk-offs and assuming that you know what went on here. Because someone was robbed, and we haven't told you the full details, you're saying, well, I've been robbed too. Well, I've been robbed myself. And it wasn't racially targeted, except it was because I was white. That's why I was targeted. So you don't know what you're talking about in the chat. So, you can stop acting like tools or you can disappear. Listen to the conversation. We're not going to go into detail. I'm not going to, I've had people on here who've had truly horrific things, which if you knew what actually happened to them and why it happened to them, you would vomit. and I've had to deal with it. Now, I'm not going to go into those details with people. I don't do with my interviews because it's not appropriate. So if you don't like the conversation, foot-sec, piss off, hit the road. Sorry, John, but that's necessary. I'm not going to deal with trolls tonight because I don't need this nonsense. It's been a busy day of haters and hate wankers out there. So they can just piss off, because you're stupid and your intelligence level is not much larger than that of a piss ant. By the way, if you know what a piss ant, so those tiny little ants that run around, the little tiny ones you can barely get in your finger, those are piss ants. If your brain cranium is only powerful enough to compete with a piss ant for intellectual capacity, then you don't belong here. Obviously, not everything stated in the conversation is the full detail of what happened to John in his situation. So grow up or go away. All right, sorry about that, John. A little distraction there. Okay, let's get back to your story at hand. Okay, so wow, so you knew about my channel before the refugee stuff started, and you actually followed me for a bit before that, and you were there on February 7th. That was hectic, wasn't it? That night when I went live, 38,000 people rocked up during that stream.
That was crazy. I was one of those 38,000.
Well, thank you for that. Also, I want to thank you personally, John, for helping lower the average viewing age of my audience from 87 down to at least 86.9.
I'm glad to help.
Anyway, but seriously. All right, John, so you did you do the PRM email and the statement of interest?
Yes, I did.
Now, the intake questionnaire, did you get to that stage or were you already interviewed?
No, I didn't get to that stage because they interviewed me just before the new intake questionnaire. They sent me details just before that intake questionnaire came out.
So you never had to do that then. But you sent a PRM email, I presume in February probably?
It was the end of February. I wasn't in the beginning with the massive flock of people going there. I was a little bit late. But yeah, I didn't hear back from the email, unfortunately.
Yep. So, all right. Well, yeah, I mean, that's just the nature of it. They only called 100 people in for a pilot project, which they didn't tell anybody, but I was, based on the information I had available, I was telling people that's what it was, and it turns out. No, he didn't travel alone, Hendo. He came with a whole bunch of folks. In fact, can I let out of the bag who you were with on the trip?
You can say.
If I recall correctly, you traveled with Pikachu.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we won't say any more names, just Pikachu. So.
Yeah, for a second I was like, "Who's Pikachu?" And then, oh yeah, I did. Okay,
so that's where it led up. Pikachu's probably got a big sigh of relief if Pikachu's watching right now, going, "Whew, I thought they were going to out me." No, we're not going to out you. We just says he tried with Pikachu. Anyway, so yeah, Henny Visa just gave a 35 Rand super chat. Thank you for that, Henny. Appreciate the 35 Rand. He's dancing up and down. All right, so. Yeah, no, he didn't travel solo. Yeah, that's right, Henry. Traveled with the infamous Pikachu. So, but John, so that was a long wait. I mean, you just got here, what, a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. It's now 3 weeks ago.
All right, so you also went to Colorado, correct?
Yes, I did.
Thank goodness you said yes to that. I'm really discombobulated today. I thought, God, I put up, the other day I put one up for someone that was in Florida and it said North Carolina. I got so discombobulated with all the refugees I was doing. I had to fix it. All right, so have you had a chance to meet Fonz?
Yes, I have. He was the first person who contacted me when I landed here.
Well, he's a good egg, except for the fact he was bouncing his head a lot and he's a Sharks fan. I don't know what happened there.
We have to be Bulls fans.
Oh, dear God. That's the end of the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank my guest, John, for appearing briefly on today's program. As a Bulls fan, we cannot tolerate that. He'll be out of the program forthwith. The rest of us will talk about the U.S. Olympic hockey victory. Yes! John is going to... Whoa, Heidi. Heidi, hi. No. Oh, it says Heidi, hi. No. Heidi, no. She's going Sharks, too. All the Sharks fans... Look, you guys come out now that your team is kind of halfway... Anyway, we won't get into the rugby. Are you a rugby fan, John?
I am a rugby fan.
Okay. Have you ever had a
big rugby fan?
Have you ever had a chance to go to Loftus?
No, unfortunately, I have not.
Oh, I always ask because, I mean, like you, I mean, in my youth, I never went to any sporting events. I mean, like that. I always wanted to go. I played sports, but never got to go to professional games. And so, ironically, I've probably been to Loftus more than the vast majority of Bulls fans as an American, which is ironic.
It is ironic. I really wanted to go to Loftus the last time the Bulls played there, but unfortunately, the ticket prices was too expensive.
Well, yeah, but that's a relative thing. Of course, they are expensive, but compared to what you have to pay for tickets for sporting events in America, they're quite the bargain. And so for me, it's a pretty good deal. And actually for the Bulls, I'm an accredited journalist, so I actually get in for free. But I always buy a ticket just to support the Bulls. I always buy myself a ticket, and I go sit in my seat at least once or twice during the game, and then I go back to the press box. It's kind of fun for me. And Antoinette, well done, Antoinette. Stormers, way to go. Well said. All right, so John, you've been here 3 weeks. All right, let's see. This story broke today in Media 24, NetVac 24, about the Stoltz family and about a family in Rochester, New York, whom I've interviewed in the past. Now, that story as a clickbait headline about, living in moldy apartments, and then there's a picture of the Stoltz family underneath it. So it's important to set the stage. You and I have not talked at all about what your reception has been like, how your arrival's been. This is the first time I'm asking you right out of the blue, and I'm going to ask you because I believe in objectivity, and I want to find out if you're having a good or a bad or indifferent experience. What has your experience been like so far since you arrived in the States 3 weeks ago?
So far, it's been great. I don't have a lot of complaints. It's only the way the agency with the government for interviews and schedule things that they have mixed up, but that's fine. The reception has been great, actually.
In what way has the reception been great for you, John? Did you have an agent meet you at the airport? Did they take you to temporary lodging and or permanent lodging? Are you in permanent lodging now? Have you talked about scheduling things? So security, I presume. Have you got set up for medical or refugee medical assistance? Did they give you cash and food when you arrived? What was that all like?
When I arrived in the Denver airport, they received me. It was my employment specialist. He received me at the airport. And then he took me straight to my permanent residence where my agent was waiting for me, my caseworker. And then I signed the lease. He went shopping. I went shopping the same day, buying a few groceries for the household, as well as they gave me $100 pocket money, bought me a new SIM card. And yeah, that was actually a nice reception.
Well, it sounds like it went pretty well from that standpoint. So what about accommodation? What's that like?
It's great. I have a one-bedroom apartment. It's not that expensive. It's actually cheap for Denver. And yeah, it was fully furnished with microwave, oven, fridge, everything included.
Well, it sounds like you're off to a good start. What frustrations have you experienced? I mean, in the 3 weeks you've been here, you said something about scheduling conflicts.
Yes, I had a social security appointment that was for me scheduled for I think it was the 18th of February. Or no, it wasn't the 18th. It was a week earlier. I don't know the exact dates at the moment. But yeah, when I got to the social security department and they said, no, I don't have an appointment, I had to reschedule. So now my appointment is only in the 2nd of March.
Okay, well, at least it's scheduled. It's not ideal, but it's scheduled. That's off. John, I got to tell you, you have an interesting thing. You can't settle on a hairstyle. This is unrelated to your settling in Denver there. Well, you've got kind of a Rocky Mountain hairstyle, like you're a ski instructor going on there with kind of like a ponytail behind there. But I have looked at your TikTok account, and you've got like 19,000 different haircut styles. You look like you stuck your hand in the mains. You got electrical shock one time. Another time you've got, what's going on with that? Yeah, you like just testing your hair to find out what suits you with your personality?
No, what happened was I just finished school when that weird hairstyle started, and then I wanted to grow out my hair, and it wouldn't lie flat, and it just stand up. So I had a afro for a while.
Yeah, I saw that as well. So your TikTok account, I think the tag on it is on the way to 10,000 subscribers. Maybe we can help you get there. You're a little short of that at the moment, and that's a bit of exaggeration.
A little far short.
So maybe we can help you get there. Are you keeping your TikTok active since you went to the States? I haven't looked to see if it's been updated recently.
I have posted a new photo when I just arrived here. It was a trend that everyone is doing. So I did that video, and I haven't uploaded since, but I'm going to start again.
Well, Alabala says at least he can have different hairstyles. I only have one. I'm assuming that means bald. That's what Alabala. Sorry to hear about the Alabala, but he says he misses being a bachelor. Well, John is a bachelor, so we'll see how things go for him. Lots of folks out there. A lot of snow in Colorado. So you mentioned the cold. I mean, when you got there, did you get any cold weather gear? Because I mean, if you had anything from South Africa, it's not going to keep you warm. Trust me.
It did. I got a trouser, not a trouser. It was a tracksuit that is actually warm. There's no cold that comes through that tracksuit. So I'm actually impressed with a South African brand that can hold up to this cold.
Wow. I mean, let's share what brand was. It wasn't K-Way, was it?
I have no idea. It looks like a Prada brand, but it's not Prada. It's an off-brand.
it's Chinese probably,
Yeah.
but it did the trick. Okay, so that's keep you warm. But I mean, the weather, the change. You came from summertime, and in Northwest, in summertime, it can get into 30s, 40s if it gets really high, and then you come here, it's wintertime, and it's down, it's 0 or below that. What was that adjustment like for you?
I was really excited when I saw the temperatures because I'm done with heat. I cannot stand the heat. So when I got here, I was like, I want the coldness. And then when I came in, it was just after a really cold front that came through Denver. The cold front was like -7 to -13. That was the heat. When I got here, it was like just above 0.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. It's crazy. Now, for 3 weeks, obviously, I presume you don't have transportation. You're probably using public transport to get around right now.
Yeah, I use the bus system, and it's actually quite nice. You get a discount if you're on SNAP benefits. So you pay for a monthly pass. It's like $27.
That's pretty good. You can take the bus anytime, right?
Yeah, throughout the month, you can take it as many times as you want.
Well, that's pretty good. Now, look, some cities in the States do have those bus systems that are pretty good. Denver's it's not an old town, so to speak. It is an old town, so over a century old, but I mean, it's not like Boston or New York or DC, which have been around for hundreds of years. And so some of these towns were designed pretty well with automobiles in mind or with stagecoaches in mind, so they had broader avenues. And Denver is a big town. Have you got out and seen anything, or are you just kind of stuck right now as you get everything sorted out?
I've been down to downtown Denver. They're in the center of Denver. That's all all that I went to. That's the furthest I've gone so far.
Well, when you get a chance, I mean, down the road, not right now, but after you get settled a bit, I mean, of course, they have the Colorado Rockies play in Denver and the Denver Broncos play. Getting tickets for Denver Broncos is going to be hard, expensive. But the Rockies have inexpensive, cheap seats. You can go watch a baseball game, check that out, take the bus down there. It's a beautiful stadium. I was in Aspen a few years ago giving a presentation at a green energy conference of all things. And while I was at the green energy conference, on the way back, I had a ticket for the baseball game, and there was a traffic jam on the interstate that runs through the mountains, and it was like 6-hour delay. I went all the way around 160 kilometers to avoid it. And I got to the game with, I don't know, it was halfway through the game. I parked. And then the parking lot is so huge. I had to walk over a kilometer just to get to the door to get into the ballpark. It was crazy. And then I caught part of the game, but it was lovely. And there was a concert after the game. It was a Christian concert, which was pretty cool. So I enjoyed that pretty good. But Denver has some interesting aspects to it. It's known as the Mile High City because the elevation is 1 mile, 1.6 kilometers high, which is nothing for those in the Highveld. They're used to something higher than that. Nothing for me. I used to live in Addis Ababa where it was 10,000 feet. So it's about, about 4 times the elevation. So what has been the most interesting aspect of your time here so far in 3 weeks?
The people. The people has been the most interesting aspect of my starting year in Denver. I've met a few great people, very nice, very polite. They help you with everything. And then I've met a few assholes.
Well, unfortunately, South Africa doesn't have a monopoly on jerks. Apparently, we've all got jerks. You can find them all over the world. Yeah, so that's a shame to hear. But let me ask that. Let's explore that. A few jerks. Did you have any particularly nasty exchanges with people, or did somebody mistreat you, or were they rude to you?
One guy was really rude to me. I just came from like a 2-mile walk from the museum to my home, and then they said I went out of my way because they had 3 pit bulls. And I was like, okay, I'm not getting near those. Those can bite even if they are friendly. And then I said hello, and then he cursed me
for simply saying hello.
Just for simply saying hello.
Is he deranged?
That's what I thought at first, but then I found out a few days after that the other people said he is a big racist. So,
I'm guessing that he's probably doesn't have the same skin tone you have.
Yes, he doesn't.
Okay. Well, we all have jerks everywhere. So not much you can do about those jerks except just ignore them. So hopefully that's what you can do. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but people have bad experiences all over, things like that. So what about the food? What are you doing? Have you adjusted for the food yet, or is something you're trying to figure out?
I have food in my fridge. It's fully stocked. I bought a lot of food. I started eating them about 2 weeks ago. For the first week, I was just on fast food. That's the best meals you can get, is the fast food. But it's actually not that bad if you know what you're doing in the kitchen. You can still make ends meet out of it.
Well, the place you're at, what's it like? I mean, pretty good. You got pretty good facilities in the apartment there, or what?
Yes, we do. The facilities we have are facilities as in shops or fast food restaurants.
So you say fast food. Well, I mean, I'm going to guess probably like McDonald's. What are these fast food places you frequented when you first got there?
It was Chipotle. The frequent one is Chipotle. I love the burritos. I don't have anything against black beans. It's actually not that bad if you start eating it.
Okay, well, that's interesting for me to hear. You don't have anything against black beans. Why would somebody have anything against black beans? What is going on? Is that like a South African thing? I never heard that before.
All of the South Africans I have met so far, all was like, the black beans are this disgusting, and like they can't put their lips around it. And I was like, if you start eating it, you can enjoy it.
Well, I'm going to tell them to stop being food bigots. What the heck? There's nothing wrong with black beans. Black beans are quite tasty. My goodness. Oh my goodness. Look, I mean, so John, I'm with you, but I'm not going to take culinary advice from people that eat pop. I'm sorry.
I don't eat pop. I really don't like pop.
All right, see, we're going to get along fine. Look at this. Sorry, Corey's going, ew, black beans. Oh, stop. We're exposing your culinary shortcomings, South Africans. We're going to take John on our team. He's already fitting right in. He's going to Chipotle. He's eating black beans. He's already succumbed to the Mexican delights of Chipotle, which aren't really Mexican. But no, they're quite tasty, but they're a lot pricier than they used to be, John. I mean, when I first started buying, they were like $6 for a burrito. Now it's $12. Well, I mean, 11, something like that. Yeah. No, grit is not pops. Grits is not pop. No. Grits is not pop. Nice try, Corey. Not even the same. Not even the same. I can use pop to fill tires in a puncture, fill a puncture in a tire. You know, that's what pop is. Anyway. All right, John. So you've eased up. You know, be careful there, man. You're going to start to swelling up there and look like one of those South African politicians or generals in the South African National Defense Force. Keep eating that fast food. So have you backed off the fast food a little bit now? You cooking a little bit for yourself?
Yeah, like I said 2 weeks ago, I started cooking for myself because I can't eat fast food for the rest of the time I'm here. Otherwise, I'm going to be around. I'm going to be like the Family Guy. No diabito, run back, roll back to the kitchen.
Exactly. Now, and James Malherba just said it correctly. Calling pop grits is like calling biltong beef jerky. They're not the same thing. Not even close. Not even close. All right, so let's move from the culinary delights a little bit here. So, John, you're 20. I presume you graduated from school a couple of years ago, and if so, have you been working in the meantime? Were you able to find work? And if so, what field were you working in?
I did finish school about 2 years ago. I started immediately after school. I helped out at Careerspreit. It's a restaurant there it's actually one of the famous restaurants in Zeerust. I think you were there probably.
What's the name of it?
Careerspreit.
Zeerust has famous restaurants? How did I miss this?
Okay, it's not a South African famous restaurant, it's a Zeerust famous restaurant.
Again, Zeerust has famous restaurants? How did I miss that? I know where the KFC is. And a Chicken Licken.
Yeah, that's the only one that's really popular, and the McDonald's that opened like 2 years ago.
There's a McDonald's there?
There's a McDonald's there.
Where's it at?
It opened like 2 years ago.
Is it on the main street?
It's on the main street.
How did I miss that?
If you go from Mafeking towards Rustenburg,
right,
you get Pick and Pay, then you get Wimpy, Steers, and stuff like that. There where Roman's Pizza used to be is McDonald's now.
Oh, okay. Must have missed it completely. Okay, well, as if we actually care about where McDonald's in Sayrist is, but but anyway. All right, so you're working in the food industry. What are your goals though? Is that what you wanted to do in life? I don't know. Did you do matric when you were in South Africa?
Yes, I finished matric. What happened was I didn't fully work there. I worked there part-time for like 2 months for December and January, the seasonal time. And then I went over to an electrical job at the top electrical firm there in Zeerust. And after that, I was jobless for like 6 or 7 months. And then I worked in Kimberley for the remainder of my time there.
So what are you hoping to do in America? I mean, you're going to have to get a job, obviously. So have you thought about what you want to do? You want to be a barista? You want to be a nuclear physicist? Do you want to be a farmer? Do you want to be a sports star? I mean, what have you thought about what you want to do? Because the sky's the limit.
My dream job actually is in acting. I really love to be an actor. I'm probably going to be the only red actor there is. The others is blue.
Well, no, there's red actors. There's some pretty famous ones, but so I need to share very quickly. If you want some acting lessons, I'm going to suggest that you contact Julius Malema, Cyril Ramaphosa, and John Steenhuisen. They're all very good actors.
I have to agree there.
Somebody said Pop gave them irritable bowel syndrome. God, that's too much information. Too much information. All right, so. John, what was the most frustrating aspect of this for you? Because you did the email and you followed this from the very beginning. Was it the wait? Was it the interviews? Were the interviews tough? Was it the travel? What was the most challenging thing?
The most challenging for me was the wait. It was like, I think it was a 9-month wait that I had, 8 or 9 month wait. And yeah, I really thought, okay, because I also applied for an H-2B visa to come work in Florida as a waiter. I applied for that, and then I was waiting for that as well. So I had 2 options, and then I said whichever one came first, I'm taking that option. And then the program came first.
So sorry, there's a breaking news story here about the United States eliminating a cartel leader in Mexico, and they're attacking the airport and grabbing American tourists as hostages in Guadalajara. This is insane. This is breaking like right now. Sorry, John. That's just crazy. It's sorry, breaking news there, folks. It just popped up on my screen. I had to share that very quickly. We'll take a look at that after we finish the conversation. Yeah. Where were we at? Gosh, sorry, John. I got distracted there by that news breaking. It's tough when you do multitasking. All right. So you want to act. Is there any particular aspect of acting that appeals to you, or any style? Shakespearean, comedy, drama?
My whole thing is more of voiceovers. I really love voiceovers because you're not really public, but you're public. I'd love to do action and sci-fi and stuff like that.
Okay, that would be interesting. And you talked about the H-2A, so you were willing to do that sort of thing, but you weren't able to get the visa, or you weren't able to get the job for that?
No, I wasn't able to get the job. They already filled up the spaces while I was applying.
Well, that's the thing. Those things are in high demand, aren't they? Those visas are pretty limited, and they fill those things pretty quickly every year. So I imagine that. What were your thoughts when you heard about this program, John? I mean, did you ever? I mean, you're not like some of my viewers who are pushing 100, but so you've been on the younger side there. What were your thoughts? Did you ever imagine that you'd have a chance to come live in America? I mean, has that ever crossed your mind?
I really hope to do. It was my dream since childhood. I wanted to come to America and live here. That was my whole dream. And then when this program opened, I was like, this is my golden opportunity.
Now, folks, perspective is everything, okay? So before some of you write in the chat and respond to what John just said, I'll do it for you. John has dreamed about this since his childhood 6 weeks ago, okay? Okay, because somebody's going to say that in the chat because you're a young guy. John, what do you think? Do you think that, I mean, it's early days. Do you think Colorado's a place for you? I mean, you okay with the cold? Are you okay with the city so far, at least in the short term? Or do you think maybe you'll move like to Hollywood or New York or something like that later on?
I believe I'm going to move, but not in the next year or two.
Well, that's smart. You know, you have to be prudent about. You know, get yourself established, get a little bit of coin in the bank, and let me tell you something right now, John. Whatever you do, whatever your life pans out to be from here on, listen to this advice and take it. Okay, pay yourself first. When you get a paycheck, even if it's $1, put $1 aside in a savings account or a mutual fund or something. Put it there. Park it. Don't touch it. It has to be money that you won't miss, and no one's going to miss $1 unless their total income is $5. Okay, so put something aside, pay yourself, get into a habit of saving. You're at the age of 20. If you save now, I swear, I don't swear in the Bible, but if I were to swear in the Bible, I would swear in the Bible. I will tell you that if you're prudent about what you do and you start saving a little bit now, it doesn't take a lot. You will be a multimillionaire when you get older, and you'll be able to live very comfortably. And that's assuming you don't become some tech titan in the meantime and invent some new SpaceX sort of thing that everybody wants to have a part of and become multi-billionaire. My point is, you are young enough now to take my advice to start paying yourself first, then pay your bills, and then when there's any money left over, that's when you have fun. You know, that's when you do things. But make sure you put something aside, make sure you meet your obligations, and then you can have a little bit of fun. But, you know, you got to focus, especially when you're young. And the thing is that money piles up. It compounds and compounds, compounds. And people don't like to listen to this, but it's true. It doesn't seem like much. Say if you put $1 away and a 6% interest, you get 6 cents in a year. Wow, that's not much. Okay. But if you put a little bit more money in each time, each month, each paycheck, a little bit more money, then more and more builds up. And next thing you know, that $1,000 a few years down the road is $10,000. And that 6 cents is $600. And, you know, and that's still in your early 20s. So just be smart about that. And yeah, Charles Van Olsen saying $20 a month, whatever starts. I started with $25 a month on a $50 savings bond. That's how much I put aside when I first started saving at the age of 18. So start now and you won't regret it. And if I live to be 120, when you're 60, 70, you can tell me, thank you, Chris. Here I'm going to give you this $2 million because I've got $1 billion. I don't need it anymore. Okay.
I will do so.
Yeah, if I live to be 120, I'll come collect that money. Trust me. And I'm going to make you pay for the flight to come to see you. Oh, seriously. Okay, so what's it like? Have you interacted other than Fonz with any other refugees there, and what's going on with those guys? I mean, that you can share without revealing anything that they might not want to share.
Yeah, I've met a lot of South Africans here, at least 30 or 40 now. I've met people that have been staying here for over 30 years. South African people that have moved here 30 years ago. Yeah, one of the people I know, they have a little bit of trouble with the agency, but can't get into much details without.
No,
it's their story to tell.
Yeah, it's their story to tell. Don't worry. I mean, we've got plenty of those stories, unfortunately, to talk about where people are having challenges. Some of them are legitimate. Some people are embellishing a little bit, but most of them are legitimate. Yeah, let's not get into it. But so you bet South Africans have lived in the Denver area for 30 years. What's that like? What do they tell you? Are they envious? Or are they like, hey, how come you got to come over? Because we've seen a few people like that.
No, they're actually very nice. They help sponsor us. They help getting sponsors for the South African refugees, and they help build ourselves with wealth. They have helped me get couches, coffee tables, chairs, and even lesenaar. What do you call a lesenaar? It's
not a shrunk. End table.
Something like that. It's a desk. That's the word.
A desk. Okay, yeah, I was thinking a table. Desk. Yeah, Bossy Cup. Just yeah. Now you guys are jumping in. We already answered it. Desk. What did you call it? What?
A lesenaar.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's not what I heard. That's why I was guessing. Okay, yeah, no, okay, it makes sense. A desk, yeah. All right, well, cool beans. So people have been there a long time, and you've got to meet them. You know, I will be coming to Denver to meet with folks. I've just got to figure out whether I'll go to Denver first. I'm probably going to do that in a trip that's tied to Utah or to somewhere else out west, because then I can go kind of like I do on a South Africa fly from this point to that point and this point to that point, rather than make a trip all the way out and back and all the way out and back. It just makes more sense. But I look forward to a chance to come out there. But I'll probably come out there when something interesting is happening that we can do. Denver is the why is that coming up? I turned off the alert thing and it just came up on the screen. But Denver is not Denver, but Glendale, which is near Denver, is it's actually near Colorado Springs, is the home of USA Rugby. So if you like rugby, that's a place where lots happening. We have some competitions take place out there.
I saw that when I was like, someone asked me, is there a rugby club nearby that the South Africans can go to and have a braai and stuff like that? I was like, I don't think so, and then I looked it up. I was like, it's just a few miles from here. It's not that far.
No, it's not that far, and it's where and also Colorado is the U.S. Olympic Committee headquarters too. There's now an Olympic museum, although I tell you that, John, it's not really worth your money. so I mean, until you've got a bit of money to spare, I wouldn't go there. I went, I was not that impressed with it. It was okay. But the Olympic Museum is out there. U.S. Olympic Committee is headquartered in Colorado. And also, as I said, USA Rugby's in Glendale. We had a Major League Rugby franchise, the Glendale Raptors, but they withdrew from Major League Rugby a couple years ago to focus on rugby development. And I think they're still around, but I don't know if they're playing club rugby now. They might be doing that. So that's out there as well. Now, Fonz, of course, mentioned Coors Brewery Tour, which is in Golden, Colorado, which is not that far from where you're at, but that's probably going to be a trip where you have to go with somebody or when you have a car, because that is, I don't think, on a bus route. But I've been to the Coors Brewery. I would have to say that it's one of the better brewery tours, and you can name it, I've been almost every brewery, the Guinness Brewery Tour. I've been on the Carlsberg Brewery Tour in Copenhagen and in Malawi, of all places. I've been to SAB breweries. I've been all over the world to brewing tours, Olympia beer. But I found that that's one of the better ones. But the best one I ever did was in Carlsberg back in Copenhagen in 1985. But the one in Golden, Colorado is pretty nice, and you should check it out. It's worth going from as a tourist standpoint.
Unfortunately, I am not old enough to go yet.
You can't go to the brewery tour under age 21?
I'm under 21.
They won't let you
I think so.
Well, check into that. Because I mean, you don't necessarily drink on the tour. That's after the tour, and they won't serve you. So I'm surprised. Maybe it's Colorado's a bunch of leftists have moved there recently. It's become a purple state, trending blue. It's kind of sad. But it's had a long history of being a reasonable state. Now it's been acting crazy. They've got weed dispensaries on every other corner in that state. It's ridiculous.
Me and someone walked, another South African, we walked in the street just below our street. We walked past, I think, about 20 or 30 dispensaries.
Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I don't know how any of them are making money. And of course, the state of Colorado said, oh, we'll get so much tax revenue from this. They've got a fraction of the tax revenue they expected to get from it. And they've normalized the consumption of marijuana, which, again, I don't think that's healthy, but that's another story. But yeah, 20 of them. Even if you're embellishing, it's still a lot. That's quite a few. I saw them everywhere. I saw more marijuana dispensaries than I saw medical clinics when I was in Colorado last time.
It's a madness. Every corner shop in the middle of the streets, you get them.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Yep. Someone just said their message deleted because they said they love weed. Yeah, well, yeah, loving weed is not a good thing. Anyway, I wouldn't be proud of that. I wouldn't tell people that. That'd be like, oh, I love alcohol. Really? You might have a problem. If you don't mind drinking alcohol, but if you love alcohol, you might have a problem. Yeah. Knight of Justice can drive at 16 but can't drink at 20. Well, those are state laws, Knight of Justice. It's a federal system. States establish drinking age. If you think that's bad, imagine what I went through. I was 17 as a freshman at university. My birthday, Christmas Day. The election is in November, so about 6 weeks before my birthday. The state of Ohio raised the drinking age from 18 to 19, 6 weeks before I turned 18. So I wasn't grandfathered. So that means I couldn't legally drink. Then when I was 19, they changed the age as I was 18 to turn 19 2 years later, or a year later, they raised it to 21. So, bastards. Yeah. You can go to war at 17, Pat. With your parents' permission, you can join the military at 17. So 17 years of age, you can actually join the military and you can go to war. And you can drive a vehicle at 16, but you can only drink at 21. That's not the same in every state, although most of them are 21 now. Well, there's a reason for it. And the preponderance of motor vehicle incidents involving alcohol-related misuse are with people under the age of 21. And so that's why they stopped it. Doesn't make it right or wrong, just means that's why it happened. Yeah, Sally says, I keep losing out. Oh, no, I lost out a long time ago on that. But yeah, anyway, again, if that was your major motivation. For me, the thing with drinking wasn't, I didn't care about drinking, but I just wanted to go out where the action was. That's where the ladies were. That's where the clubs were. And I can't even go to the clubs. I used to have to slip in the back door of this one, the College Inn, which had a bar on the ground floor, just to hang out in there. I didn't order any alcohol, but the state liquor agents are always hanging out there trying to bust people. So, John, do you think maybe you'll go to school for acting, or is it just something you're going to try to get into?
I'm thinking of doing that, but I first have to get a job, a normal job, 9 to 5, to afford the classes.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But I mean, there's also there's grants for education if you want to go to university, that sort of thing, to attend school. You can apply for that, and loans. Try to stay away from the loans if you can avoid it, but it isn't always avoidable. But in the meantime, once you get working, you can spend that time researching, find out what universities have good programs, good acting programs that you go to. Some of them have very good programs, if that's what you really want to do, if that's where your heart is set on. A lot of people who are in acting actually went to university to study acting, which was just surprising. A lot of people don't realize that. Ironho says you can join the military and be killed at 17, but you can't drink alcohol. Yes, it does make all the sense in the world, Ironho. Yep, makes all the sense in the world. We don't want 17-year-olds with guns drinking and smoking weed. That's a dangerous combination. And Blue Flame says, I don't like this interview. I love it. That's good to hear. All right. So, John, were there any questions you had during the course of the program? Because I don't recall you ever joined the chat. If you did, I don't recall your username. Any questions you might have had during the past year when you're watching my program that I never answered or that would have been helpful for you to know before you went over?
A lot of questions. Every video I had, every live, I was like, why this, why that, why this, in everyone, and then you just missed it. You read the comment before me and then the comment after me, and
Are you serious? Are you serious?
Yeah. That happened like 3 or 4 times.
But you didn't take it personally.
No, I didn't. I understand. I watched the feed. I was like, I can't even read all the comments.
Yeah, some people get their feelings hurt. Why aren't you answering me? Like they're the only person in the room. I mean, 700 people are watching right now, 3,000 views, and the chat rate's 8, so that's an average rate. Not very high, but it's not low. I mean, there's a lot of messages coming in here. I mean, let me have messages come in already. So there have already been, it doesn't tell me till I'm finished. I thought it told me now. But there are already thousands of messages. I can't catch all of them. And sometimes, the problem with the software is that like it'll jump. The broadcast software is what I'm looking at on the screen. To my right is a second screen with the actual YouTube studio, and that has the chat as well. So that's why I look over here sometimes, because sometimes the chat here doesn't get fed into the software, and then it jumps, and I got to go backwards, and so you miss things. Well, I'm sorry I missed your questions, John, but did they eventually get answered, or were there ones you never got answered?
No, it was answered when the continuing of my waiting for the program. They were answered like that.
Okay, so there was nothing that you ever had a burning question on that didn't actually eventually get answered on the program?
Yeah, it didn't. There was nothing like that.
What concerns did you have? I mean, look, you're 20. You've come over by yourself, no family, no support system around you. I mean, this is what adventuresome people do. Are you an adventuresome person, or are you just taking a big risk?
I'm really an adventurous person. I like to travel, so this was a goal of mine, and I can check it off my bucket list.
Well, there you go. So Matthew's saying the Colonel is ignoring me. He's got a crying thing. I'm not ignoring you, Matthew. I know you're joking. That's why I just removed the message instead of giving you a timeout. Yeah, people keep asking about FEMA tents. Hey, what about that, John? I mean, you watched all these programs. How comical is that? You'll be living in FEMA tents. Do people even know what FEMA is? The Federal Emergency Management Agency doesn't handle refugees. I mean, that was the most comical part of this whole thing. And then, of course, the other part is that, John, I mean, I realize, look, maybe my eyesight is failing, but you do look kind of white. So I'm going to guess you're white. And with a name like Van de Westhuizen, although the John threw me off, I'm going to say you're a boer, or an Afrikaner anyway. So, when you hear from Ronald Lamole and others that this is only for white farmers who are Afrikaners, we know that's nonsense. So, I mean, some of these things like the FEMA tent and that, just I'm like shaking my head. People actually believe this nonsense. Okay, I mean, when did you keep this to yourself when you put in for the program, or did you tell other people about it? And if you told people, what was the response?
I did tell my family. Some of them are watching now. But they didn't want me to go because it's an uncertainty.
Yeah,
that's the whole. Yeah. That's the whole biggest thing, is the uncertain part of the whole program.
100%.
Yeah. Now I'm here and I'm safe. I'm well fed, so I can't complain.
Well, speaking of family, you've got family that's back in South Africa?
Yeah, I do have family that's back there.
Okay, I presume your parents and maybe siblings?
Unfortunately, my parents aren't with me anymore. Both of them have died.
I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences.
Thank you. My grandmother is still there, as well as my 2 aunts.
Okay.
And yeah.
So if they're chatting, they're not sharing it. They're being quiet, and that's fine. But so greetings to your gran, at your oma, and to your aunts, your tunnies. And look, John, I don't mean to pry. I mean, we did discuss whether there's things we can't talk about, but did your parents pass long enough ago that you had to be raised by your grand or by your aunts?
My mother died when I was 3.
Oh, sad.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was also part of that is also part of my trauma. She was murdered.
Oh, it's a shame.
And then my dad wasn't in my life for the most part of my life. So my grand did raise me. And then my father died about 3 years ago.
Oh gosh, that sounds like a tough road home. Sorry to hear about your mom and what happened to her. Unfortunately, it's all too common that things like that happen. So your grand raised you. It looks like she did a pretty good job. So hats off, or tip the cap to your grand. Tip the cap to your grand. It sounds like she did a good job raising you.
Yeah, I believe she did. She's actually one of the most blessed persons I have in my life.
Does she have the good fortune or misfortune to live in Zeros? No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer that.
Yeah, she does. She does.
Well, next time I get to Zeros, then, with your permission, I'd love to meet your gran if she's around.
I don't think she's going to be there anymore.
Ah, shame. I'm shame. Okay, well.
No, I'm not saying that she's that old she's going to die. I'm meaning she's going to move in the next couple of months.
Okay, well, we'll leave it at that. And if it's in South Africa, you can let me know. And if I go wherever she winds up, then you can. And I'd love to meet your gran if that's possible. Let's just leave it at that.
You're probably going to meet her when you come to Denver.
Oh, jeez, with the cat's out of the bag. I always try to keep the cat in the bag there, John.
I understand. But yeah, I don't care for she's not going to get persecuted for this.
Yeah. Okay.
Because she never leaves her home, so it's fine.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. Looking forward to that then. Then hopefully that's soon for her. A lot of people waiting to come over. Of course, we've got this pause in the flight departures, which is really wreaking havoc on people's lives right now. It's unfortunate. I've got someone who just asked me, Joshua, something. If I answered email, we can have. No, Joshua, I haven't seen your email. Joshua Miller, if it's under that name, I haven't seen it. I mean, you do realize that I've been dealing with canceled flights for the past several days here. And so there it is. February 10th you sent to me. Yep, I found it. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Joshua, thank you for your email. I found it February 10th, but you didn't really tell me much of anything other than when you applied for the program, and I appreciate where you're coming from. So I'm not sure what you're looking for there. Thank you for your email. Fawn says, when is she coming? No, we're not going to spill the beans on that. First, she won't be coming between now and March 9th, most likely. I think we can say that.
Yeah.
I think we can say that with a great deal of confidence. Unfortunately, she won't be coming before March 9th. So hopefully that gets sorted out. All right. So, John, you've been here for a bit. You reminded me a couple times that you're willing to do an interview. I actually saw you at an airport on camera there, didn't I? Was it you? Or
yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you
okay.
did.
I got to make sure I'm not getting two senior moments here. I remember that. Yeah. So, and then you were traveling on. So, you reminded me because you really wanted to do this interview. Why did you want to do the interview? Just to make other people feel at ease?
No, it's more of, I wanted to do that because I'm jealous of everyone that's doing the interview, and I was like, I want to do this interview. It has to happen. I have to get in contact with you. Yeah, it is for people that to set them at ease, to know. Even young people can come. It's not really for old white people or old Indians or stuff like that. It's for everyone. It's not just for certain people. It's for everyone.
Well, and John, from very outset, because you watched me talk about this last year on February 7th and repeatedly since then, and the embassy, because I said I hoped it's for ethnic minorities. That was the wording I used, as I recall, but I meant by that racial minorities. And so from the outset, people wanted to argue about what an Afrikaner is. And I said, it doesn't matter what you think an Afrikaner is. It doesn't matter what I think an Afrikaner is. It matters what the government decides. And in the end, just 3 days later, and this argument went on for about a month and a half, but 3 days later, the embassy posted that it's Afrikaners and racial minorities, and it's been that ever since. We've covered the story. We've talked to white South Africans who are English speakers and Afrikaners. We've talked to colored South Africans, even had them on camera and also interviewed them off camera, as well as Indians. And we've even had a few black South Africans who come over, part of a nuclear family. And people still want to lie about this program. So what you're doing is very important, John, and I appreciate it. It's something that people need to know about. And it's unfortunate that other people want to bury their head in the sand and pretend that this is a program for white farmers, which has never been. Because I got to be honest with you, John, people are either dishonest or they're stupid or both. They just want to believe the propaganda they see in the media. And I think maybe a lot of people are, they're just obviously bigoted, and many people are stupid. But that's just my take on it. What are your thoughts?
I totally agree. I think they're very ignorant for saying stuff that's not true. Because on my interviews that I had, there were black people, there were Indian people, there were coloreds coming from all over South Africa. And it was not just farmers, it was every type of profession.
In fact, most of the people come over aren't farmers. In fact, it's still funny, John, listening to the initial comments are still going on about, there was this even American trying this crap. Yeah, these people, they're supposed to be a great benefit to our farming. Yeah, they're not even working in farming. Yeah, well, that's because half of them were minor children under the age of 18 came the first 59ers, genius. People really some dumb stuff. Now, there's a comment here from where'd it go? Did it get deleted? I think it got deleted. Somebody delete. Let me look at that comment and see if it got deleted. Yeah, it got deleted. Mike in the Clouds is claiming that he heard from his sister in Colorado that when she got to her apartment, she didn't have anything. They gave her an air mattress. She didn't have any dishes there to use. Well, Mike, then tell your sister to reach out to me and talk to me about it. If people just complain about things, if they don't look for assistance, then they're going to find themselves in a bind. If in fact that story is true, it's possible. Not all apartments come furnished. But I find it hard to believe what your statement is that when she arrived, she was put in a place with nothing. It seems highly improbable that she wouldn't have gone into a hotel for a few days where it would have had facilities or went into a place without furniture. That would be the first refugee that I've talked to out of close to 900 now who've come to America and been placed somewhere that wasn't furnished, or at least they provided furniture for them. So I'm not saying it's untrue, Mike, but get your sister to reach out to me. All right? Otherwise, it really isn't helpful here. And then I can investigate it. Okay. All right. So, okay. Well, he has a problem, and now he's going to get himself a timeout. Sorry, I had to just put a juvenile in a timeout there. Sometimes you have to spank the children. Anyway, so, all right. Sorry about that. Sally says, Gen X, we can do anything. Sally, you're Gen X too? Wow. Okay. Yeah, but John's not Gen X. He's Gen something after that, millennials or whatever.
Gen Z. I'm Gen Z.
Gen Z. There you go. After this, we just start calling them aliens. We'll call them robots for the next generation. Yes. Yeah. I'm in that. I'm baby boomers and what Gen X. Yeah, that's the generation. I'm right on the seam of that. So, yeah. Anyway, John, what else can we talk about here? I mean, what about television? Do you have a TV? Or are you watching TV? What's it like?
No, I don't have a TV yet.
That's probably healthy.
It is probably. The thing is, I don't really watch TV. I just want it for the news. I want to see what they're saying on the news. I know mainstream media, they talk a lot of nonsense and stuff like that. But I'm really interested in seeing what they have to say. But I watch movies and TV shows on my phone. I don't really use my laptop for that. I only use it for job applying and job searching and doing interviews on the laptop.
Well, have you started that? Have you started looking? You say you're looking for jobs, and how are you looking for jobs? Why don't you share that with people?
I look on Indeed as well as LinkedIn. I also use Google Jobs. There's a folder of Google that's for jobs in your area. I use that, but there was a job fair not in this week that has passed that I went and gave in my CVs at every tent, and I have an interview for tomorrow.
What's the interview in what industry, if we might ask?
It's a casino job. I'm gonna do surveillance monitoring.
Ooh, a casino. All right. So you're going to be looking for the criminals who are trying to cheat at the games and steal.
Yep, that is my job that hopefully I'm going to get. I really hope I get this job because it's a nice job.
No, casinos are great. I mean, a great place to be employed at for many people. So that's fingers crossed. Drücke die Daumen, as we say in German. Push the thumbs there. I hope that it goes well for you. So, your Social Security appointment is not until March, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, it is until March.
Okay, so hopefully that won't be an issue with them. They'll be able to say, you're getting it shortly, and they'll be able to hire you because you're make that clear to them. You're authorized to work because you're a refugee. I mean, if that comes up, yeah, I don't think it will, but they're going to ask you your Social Security number, and you don't have that yet. So hopefully that won't be a stumbling block.
Yeah, that came up in when I asked for the job applications. They said Social Security or the AED or what do you have of proof of employment? Is that I have the I-94 form stamped with authorization to work.
There you go.
And they said it's fine.
All right, fantastic. All right, John. Okay, so all right, so let's give you a little advice for the interview. Okay. All right. If your interviewer farts, don't even mention it. Don't smirk. Don't laugh. Just look away. Okay. Just stay chilled. Don't ask your interviewer their age. Okay. Just saying. And don't tell them that you hate the Broncos because you probably won't get the job. I'm just saying that. Okay.
I'm actually a Broncos fan.
Are you serious?
I'm a Broncos fan. I've been watching the NFL with my dad for a long time.
Are you serious? And you wind up in Denver, Colorado. What are the odds of that?
I wind up in the Broncos headquarters.
That's like kismet, man.
I totally agree.
Okay, so look, I can forgive you for the Bulls support, but the Broncos, come on. No, come on. No, I'm just teasing. 'Cause, look, I got a soft spot for the Broncos because Peyton Manning finished his career up with the Broncos and won a Super Bowl. Should have won two, but he won a Super Bowl with them. Yeah, so I kind of have a soft spot for the Broncos, even though I'm not a fan. But wow, that's amazing. You were actually an NFL fan and a Broncos fan, and you wound up in Denver, Colorado. I mean, you couldn't have written a novel. Here's your screenplay. Go ahead and write your screenplay.
I can actually write an autobiography about my life, and it would probably be a bestseller.
Well, that would be interesting. Love to see it. So now we got the football fans coming out, Steelers and Bears. Well, we'll see how that goes. Don't ask.
Yeah,
what's this? Oh, don't ask if you can have your salary and casino credits. No, Steve, that's not something I think he's going to ask.
No, and unfortunately, they said to me, I have to be 21 to play at that casino.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. That I know. You can't play in any casinos in the country unless you're 21, and that's a legal standpoint. You know, there's certain jobs in America you can't do. Like in most states, you can't even rent a car until you're 21. That's just because of the liability that's related to younger folks, and it's unfair, but it's just a reality. That's just how life is, unfortunately. I mean, some states will try to restrict people over a certain age from driving too, because the older people become less reactive or they've got issues. So yeah, no, there's certain things you can't do until certain ages. Well, that's interesting. I look forward to hearing how it goes, if you don't mind. And even if you don't get it, you can tell me. I mean, but if you get it, I'll be chuffed for you. That'll be really exciting. I mean, that you will have been in the country for less than a month, and you will have already secured employment if it goes well tomorrow.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Well, polite, good manners goes a long way. I tell you, so when I was at university the second time after I came out of the Army, I prepared a resume, one-page resume, and the UPS, that's United Parcel Service, the package delivery guys, they hire people for Christmas because they have so many packages and they need more people to sort packages. Well, I didn't really want to sort packages, but I wanted the $9 an hour that they pay because that was a lot of money back in 1987. So I went to their job fair before we had our winter break. And I was on a quarter system, which breaks before Thanksgiving and runs until January. So you get almost 2 months. And that works really well for UPS because they can hire you sooner when they need help before Thanksgiving. And then other people go to semester schools. They're not available till like the end of the first week of December or the second week. But I was available all the time. So I went, but they'd already filled, they had no hires in that area. See, they come to universities to hire all over the state, and I was living in that town. I wasn't going anywhere. So I met with the recruiter, and I wore a tie and had a smart shirt on, no jacket, but a tie and a shirt, and clean shaven, looked smart. And I took a resume, and I was polite because I just got out of the Army. Answers questions, yes, sir. No, sir. Yeah. And so he said to me, unfortunately, we don't have any jobs here in Athens. Those jobs are already filled by people we've had previously. And so we're not hiring there. But I like your resume, and I'm going to hold on to it. We might have a job opening up in the spring. So in the springtime, the guy called me back. At home, it's before cell phones. He didn't have cell phones. He called me at my home, and I was like, "Woo, yay! What's up?" He's like, "Yeah, we have a job for you. To sort. Are you able to work this summer?" And I said, "No, unfortunately, I can't. I'm in the officer training program, and I have to go to Seattle, Fort Lewis for 6 weeks. I have to go to Kentucky for 2 weeks, and I have to go to 3 weeks, and I have to go to Michigan for 2 weeks. So the whole summer's gone." He said, "Okay, but I've got a guy who's going to be leaving. We need a customer service clerk or customer counter rep. That'll be in the fall, in September. Is it all right if I call you back?" I said, "Yeah, please do." So I came back, and I had a message on my answer machine, and then I called him back, and I got a job. $9 an hour, dental benefits, vision. I didn't need that. The dental, I didn't need that at that age, but I had dental, medical, all those benefits right there on the spot, all because I was polite, professional, and had my CV prepared. It was really good. And I learned an awful lot about being hired in job interviews. And I've hired hundreds of people since then and fired a few, unfortunately. Are you looking forward to the interview? Are you not nervous about anything, are you?
No, I'm a little bit nervous. It feels weird to go on another. I did have an interview like last week, but they said they're going to reach out to me just before the end of February. So I'm keen to hear from them again, as well as this new people. Can I quickly ask for a few seconds?
What?
To quickly run to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. I was like, what's he asking for a few seconds for it? Now, see, that's a rookie mistake by John. I went to the bathroom before we started. In the 6 years I've been doing YouTube, I think I've only twice had to excuse myself to go to the restroom in 6 years because I planned ahead. Once was during the elections in 2020, and one was the other time. I can't recall. But let me just check on something here very quickly. Oh, no, I closed that already. The Olympics, the United States, while John is away, has set Olympic records for the United States with 12 gold medals. That's just crazy. 12 gold medals. And we come in second for that. USA scores Jack Hughes in overtime. USA secures the gold. Now we have a gold in the women's and men's. Just unbelievable stuff. Very exciting for the United States. Just crazy, crazy stuff. This is we didn't set a medal record for the U.S., but I think it's the third best we've ever done after Salt Lake and Vancouver, 37-34. We got 33 medals, 12 gold, 12 silver, and 9 bronze. Italy came in fourth in the race because they got one silver fewer than the Netherlands, but they got 30 medals, so they were third in medal total. But okay, John's back. They were third in medal total, but they went up fourth on the log because of the way they do this with the most golds. Norway ran away with everything, 41 golds, 18 gold, 12 silver, and 11 bronze. Just incredible. John, I don't know, does that interest you at all, the Winter Olympics, now that you're in Colorado, the Olympic headquarters out there, might be something you want to have a little interest in?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Winter Olympics. The big Olympics, I'm a big fan of those, the running and the javelin throw. Yeah, the Summer Olympics. I'm a bigger fan of those than of the Winter Olympics, but I don't mind looking at anything.
All right, well, there you go. But the Winter Olympics is what I've always been in love with, and it's because the first Olympics I ever watched were the Winter Olympics in 1976, and that as a kid I watched Dorothy Hamill won a gold medal in figure skating there, and I'm still in love with her. She's an amazing woman, Dorothy Hamill. And then we had Bill Cock. I'll never forget that, won a medal in the biathlon. That's where you ski, cross country ski and shoot, and that was unprecedented for America, and it was just fantastic. It was in Innsbruck, which is a beautiful place I've been to hundreds of times now since then. And then I did watch a little bit of the Summer Olympics. Bruce Jenner won the decathlon. Now, of course, that's Caitlyn Jenner today. Apparently, who knew? But it was Bruce Jenner back then. And so I kind of got into Olympics starting in 1976, and I've been a huge fan of Olympics ever since. 1980 really broke my heart when we didn't go to the Summer Olympics in Moscow. But the Winter Olympics, we won the gold medal. So the United States has won the gold medal 3 times in hockey for men. 1960 in Squaw Valley, 1980 in Lake Placid, and 2026 in Milan. And here's the thing, John, and to the audience. One of the members who won a gold medal today is 34 years of age. His grandfather won a gold medal on the team in 1960. His father was on the team in 1980 and won a gold medal. And now a third generation American has won a gold medal in men's hockey Olympics. You cannot write a script. John, I know you want to act, but you got to work on screenplays too, man. We're working a script right here. We've already got a story right there.
That is actually mind-blowing to know that 3 generations took place in both 3 times they won a gold medal.
Yeah, and it's over the course of 66 years that happened. 1960, 1980, and now 46 years later in 2026. That's just incredible. And if he hadn't got it this time, he never would have gotten one because he's like 34, and I doubt he would have been. He's not one of the best players. He's a good player, but he probably wouldn't have been around at 38 to do this. So that's just incredible. 3 generations of gold. I mean, nobody in my family has a single generation of gold, so that's kind of impressive. Oh, my goodness. All right, John, so tomorrow, good luck. Our fingers are crossed. I think we're all pulling for you to get that job because it sounds like a good way to start out. And we haven't delved into your work ethic, but I assume you have a good work ethic. But that's important in America, work ethic. If you're not early, you're late. Now, your generation doesn't seem to understand that rule. So if you, in your generation, understand that rule, you are going to be ahead of the rest of the crowd. I'm just telling you right now, brother. If you have that good work ethic that I grew up with and generations after me seem to have had for a bit, then lost, you're going to be in better shape, because employers want reliable people who show up on time, who are there and doing the job, and don't walk off the job, and don't screw off, and don't catch them when they're supposed to be watching, people cheating at the games, playing Super Mario on their Nintendo or on their phone while they're so if you have a good work ethic, it's going to go a long way, and I hope that's the case for you. So I mean, I can offer you that advice whether you want it or not. You watch the program, so obviously you don't mind a little bit of advice.
I don't mind advice.
Okay. So you're a little nervous tomorrow. I'm going to tell you something else. That's actually good. If you're nervous about the interview, that means that you must want it. And if you want it, that means you care about it. If you care about it, that means you're going to try. And if you're going to try, you're probably going to pull it off. So I think a lot of us are excited about your job interview tomorrow. That's really, really cool. All right. So what have we neglected to talk about here, John? I mean, sure, there's something we missed off. Anything you want to talk about that we haven't brought up? Maybe you want to share with people?
Yeah, I want to mention this as well. A lot of the single people that came over, they struggle a lot. It's the families that succeed. That's what the overall thing is here in Denver. Is all of the single people I have met so far struggled because the agency just gets so much money for your rent, and it doesn't even cover 2 months' rent on that amount. So the single people struggle, the families don't. So what we did is all the single people, we come together every 2 weeks now. It's going to be every 2 weeks. We started this like last Friday. Not this Friday that passed, the one before. We come together and we have we meet new people, we meet old people we have already met, and yeah, we just have fun caring.
Well, John, I think that's an important thing you're mentioning there. And so I get a little of this from singletons, like, oh, I'm isolated, I'm alone. Well, you're isolated and alone by your own choice, by your own actions. There's no reason for you to be alone. So we had in Rochester where people were getting poor treatment from the refugee agency, that they banded together, put a WhatsApp group together to share information. That's just one example. In Dallas, people formed a community down there. There's so many of them down there that they've linked up. They do stuff together. I have an example of 3 refugees who are living in one apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment. So 2 guys and a gal, and one of the guys, one of the gals, the original guy who had the 2-bedroom apartment, he's in a bedroom. Then the gal has got her own bedroom, and then the third guy sleeps on the couch. Well, they're doing that because they're just established. But guess what? They just combined their $2,000 each into $6,000. Now they can pay rent for like 6 months. I mean, if that's all they have, right? And they're already getting jobs. So there's nothing wrong with that as singletons. You just have to be humble and accept the circumstances and move forward. Now, whereas with the families, if you got a family came over and you got 2 adults, an 18-year-old, that's an adult, you got $6,000 because you get to 2,000. So some of those families have an advantage from that standpoint, but they also have the disadvantage. They need a larger place. But I like what you guys are doing in Denver. That's what you should do. And any communities out there where you find yourself in South Africa, from South Africa to the United States, and you're a single person and you're feeling disconnected, reach out to our program. Let us know about it. We will put you in touch with people in the town or near where you're at, either refugees or South Africans who've been established for some time. We also saw that Rochester, a South African who is now an American, who's been here for years, and he's been helping refugees as well. And we saw it in Texas. So I love that, John. See, that's what we call initiative. That's a great effort on the part of whoever started that to try to bring together, to share experiences, and also just kind of for a social thing. And if nothing else, I mean, you guys can get together and start fights between Sharks fans and Bulls fans and Stormers fans, right?
Yeah, luckily we haven't gone there yet, but I don't think it's far from now.
Yeah, well,
but since I got here, I haven't been alone at all. I've visited a lot of people during my time. I've met the new families that moved after me. I'm one of the people that like to reach out to new people and help. So that's why if there's a new person coming, I want to be the first person they meet.
Well, John, it sounds like you are a person that's not shy. I mean, you weren't shy about reaching out to me and reminding me that you wanted to do an interview. Not John. John wasn't pestering me. Don't anybody infer that. But I think a lot of you know that I'm pretty swamped. I mean, with so much going on, and John wanted to make sure that he got a chance to share his story with folks, so that people get a chance to profit from it. And again, that's why we do this, so that you all get a chance to profit from others' experience. And John, I get a lot of people. I don't understand this, John, because I've interviewed single people before, and then I get people. How come only families get to go over? What are you talking about? The ladies in Connecticut were single, both of them. The other people I interviewed were single. Yeah, I don't have kids. I can't. What are you talking about? It's like the same argument, like only white farmers come over. No, have you paid any attention? I've done now working on 40 interviews with refugees that have come to the States, not to mention the hundreds I've talked to privately. It's kind of frustrating for me, John. Can you imagine for a second just how many messages I get each day? Just wondering.
I can think that. It's mind-blowing that you can even answer one of my messages. That's why I was really glad that you did.
Yeah, no, and I'm really glad that you reminded me and you asked to come on the program, because I like the person said earlier, I didn't like this interview. I've really loved the interview. I've enjoyed chatting with you. Matthew Dixon wants a timeout. He's pushing for a timeout. Benjamin says, John, wishing you all the best. Your story, similar to mine, came to South Africa's refugee many years ago. Now I'm busy leaving Mzansi, my second refuge journey. Sad times. See you soon. Okay, Benjamin. Yeah, I'm guessing Benjamin probably came from Rhodesia/Zimbabwe. That'd be my guess, but that might not be the only place. Yeah, or maybe from Eastern Europe. Who knows? Trump said he might pull the World Cup from Boston if they don't listen. Oh, well, good. Who wants to go to Boston to watch a World Cup? I don't have any problem with that. It doesn't hurt my feelings.
It won't hurt mine as well.
Exactly. All right, John. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, and I'll give you the floor for a few minutes, and you can share anything you might want to share with folks. And then I said that I wasn't going to do the Refugee Cafe Clutch, but the bingo event for the Veterans Organization was canceled. I rushed over there for no reason. Nobody was there because their fear of snow. I mean, we were turning into a wuss society here, man. There's no snow on the ground, and we canceled and shut down for the whole day. Going to cost us revenue. But anyway, so there's no event going on, so I will do the Cafe Clutch after John and I finish the interview in a few minutes. But John, you get the floor now, and then people redirected afterwards to the Refugee Cafe Clutch. But share anything you like to. Any advice for young and old, singles, families, anything you want to share. I think that people will profit from your experience. So the floor is yours.
What I can say about my experience so far is you should apply. If you really have a problem, if you're really living in fear, apply. I know you keep saying on your program you're not telling anyone to apply or not to apply. I'm telling people that really have a fear to apply. That is my personal opinion. Everyone I've met so far really said if they can get on this program, it would set them for life. It would be great for them. And yeah, and don't sell your stuff before you get your flight date. I have met a lot of people that sold their stuff like 3 or 4 months before they got the flight details. And now they sit without cash because they spent it all on hotels and Ubers and stuff like that. So don't spend your money. Yeah, that's basically all I can say.
Well, John, that's actually pretty good advice, and I've tried to give people that advice too. It really frustrates me no end. People say, "Well, I sold everything and now I'm bankrupt." Why are you bankrupt? Because I received a message in October that I'm leaving in 2 weeks. No, you didn't. You received a message, be ready to leave in 2 to 4 weeks. You need to understand what you're getting. And I keep trying to tell people this. It's very frustrating. Some people, their feelings hurt because I pointed out. But I've never said it was let me see. It was Johan van der Sloot who told me this on the 12th of May in an email, and Johan is complaining. I've never outed anybody. And oh, by the way, if it applies to you and you think you're the only person that's done that and I'm talking to you, then you're very self-centered. Dozens, if not hundreds of people have done and made the mistake that you're making by not listening to my advice and now listening to John's advice. John has offered very good advice. So John, it's John. It's not Johan, right?
Yeah, it's John.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure.
It's a fully American, easy way to say it.
Just want to make sure.
When I got here, everyone was like, John, and I was like, I wasn't the only one. I was the only van der Westhuizen, and they was like, John, and I was like, okay, that's me. Because the moment they start with my surname, I know it's me.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of John Smiths, a lot of John Calhouns, a lot of John Sullivans, but there's only one John van der Westhuizen who rocks up for it. All right, cool beans. Okay, John, bye-bye, donkey. Thank you so much. You do speak Afrikaans, I presume, or am I wrong?
Ja, ek kan baie goed Afrikaans praat.
Yeah, actually, you do speak it very well. Thank you. All right. So I just want to make sure so we know that. Okay. So, all right. Well, John, thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to it. Feel free to send me a note if it went well. If it didn't go well, you don't have to send me a note, but I'd still like to know how it's going, and we'll keep track of you. Also, John, I open the door to you to months down the road. If you want to come back on, we'll find out how you're a famous, security guy at the casino, and you caught people stealing $2 million in chips and got them busted, and you're in the news now.
I will definitely give an update in a few months.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, John Edmund van der Westhuizen, of most recently from Zeerust, of all places. Thank you. Bye-bye, Donkey. I'll go ahead and let you drop off in the waiting room, and then I'll wrap this up, and we'll go to the Cafe Clutch.
Thank you very much for getting me on this, letting me have an interview. I really appreciate it, Chris.
It's my pleasure. All righty, there you go. I'm going to put him in the waiting room. Okay, so, all right, thanks, John. Okay, and there you go. All right, folks, thank you for tuning in, and apologies for the late start, 15 minutes late. I had to run in the Veterans Place. We ran over because of the hockey and also events unfolding with Netfair 24. So, yeah, it sometimes just goes like that. We're going to wrap up here. You'll be directed to the Refugee Cafe Clutch, which I said I wasn't going to do, but I am doing it now. Please do not forget the breaking news. Which breaking news? I covered a couple breaking news items there. So, all right, we'll see you guys shortly, and hang in there. Thanks to my guest, John. It was a wonderful interview. I really enjoyed it. Fonz, I hope you enjoyed the interview too. Yeah, okay, everybody. We'll see you here shortly in just a few moments for the next broadcast. The Cafe Clutch. Cheers.